Hello, my name is Dennis Young. My main interest is in the study of nonprofit organizations. How can nonprofit organizations use their resources as effectively as possible to achieve their missions? That is specifically the intent of something that we call benefits theory, benefits theory for nonprofit finance. It basically says that, financing is really driven by the specific mission of your organization, and you need to translate that mission into the services required to accomplish that mission, and you need to take a look at the kinds of benefits that produces and the groups of beneficiaries that receive the benefits of your services. And then you need to ask, for each of those beneficiary groups or people that care about those beneficiary groups, how can they pay? And how do we translate the services and mission into the financing by asking whether they can be paid like consumers pay for services in the marketplace, or whether we require gifts, or whether we need to get governmental assistance or seek volunteers, or the whole range of things. But once we're down to the point of understanding what benefits we're producing and who's receiving those benefits and how they might pay, then we start to get closer to an answer to our question for any individual nonprofit organization. How do we characterize the services that are received and the benefits that are received and the beneficiaries? And economists have ways of thinking about this. There are different types of economic goods and services, and roughly speaking, we can divide them into four groups. We're trying to get at the private versus the public nature of goods and services. So a lot of the services that nonprofits produce can be considered as kind of a private nature. They're similar to the kinds of services that get produced in the marketplace. They go to individuals. Individuals benefit, and individuals generally pay for them. And many of the services that nonprofits produce have these characteristics. For example, affordable housing, or performing arts, or fine arts and museum services, that individuals consume those services and they can pay for it, and they can be excluded from the services if they don't pay for it. Now, usually with nonprofits, we have some other objective in mind, so exactly how we use that mechanism may be different than in the for-profit sector. For example, we may want to calibrate the prices that we choose so that people aren't excluded for lack of money. But if we know that the nature of the services is private, it tells us that we should be thinking about fees as one source of income. A second group is economic goods, small group services that might go to simultaneously to a group of beneficiaries all at once, and which are hard to produce in the marketplace because they don't have this excludability private nature to it. And that is kind of a natural domain for gifts or donations. Think about running a church, or think about raising funds for some rare disease that afflicts or puts at risk a certain group. Those people have some incentive to give to support the provision of the good, and the mechanism of charitable solicitation can be employed to try to supplement or support the provision of that good. Other goods are more like widespread public goods. Environmental organizations, try to clean the air that we breathe and the water that we use, and that's very widespread public benefits, where government is often involved in supporting the provision. And so a nonprofit in that area may look to government funding as one sensible source of income to support that kind of good. There are other kinds of goods that are attractive to sponsors. We call those exchange goods, because what's happening in that case is that some corporation would like to be affiliated with the provision of a good, maybe research on some form of cancer or some serious disease, or it might be youth recreation or whatever it is. The corporation that has a particular product that wants to address a particular market might find it attractive to support a charity that is working with those same groups. So now we start to think about sponsorships, either in the form of gifts or grants or products. So we see that we have this variety of possibilities, and once we look at exactly what we're doing and what mission we're trying to accomplish, it tells us something about the nature of the goods that we're producing and who is receiving the benefits of those goods, and that in itself helps us translate into the kinds of financing mechanisms that we can use to put together an appropriate income portfolio for your organization. So the benefits distribution should be reflected in the income portfolio. That's the basic idea, is where should the money come from, and how do I figure out which of these, what combination of all the possible sources of income can best support my organization. Thank you.